So, very good morning to all. I welcome you all for this channel. And in this class, let us have a discussion of how to start the research work because most of the students in our, it may be in any disciplines, you may have a final year projects during the seventh semester or eighth semester, or if it is a arts and science background, they can have a during the fifth semester and sixth semester, they can have a project work. So, how to start the research work, which are all the different kinds of domains are available, and how to choose the research domain, and how to choose the research paper for doing the literature survey as well as the selection of waste papers. So these are all the things we are going to cover in this session. Okay, let us move on to our research. So most of the students, they can have a doubt on that what is meant by research. So normally the different peoples, they can have a different kinds of definitions regarding the research work, research definition. So research mainly involves the inductive and deductive methods. So inductive, it means that that's a do some kind of triggers in order to start our searching process. That is an inductive. So deductive, it means that based on our observations, we can start our um, further searching process. So that is a deductive method. So in Tamil, in inductive, it means that is a தூண்டுதல் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. டிடெக்டிவ்ங்கிறது வந்து என்னன்னா ஃபைண்டிங் சம்திங், அதாவது துப்பறிதல் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஓகே, ரிசர்ச் இன்வால்வ்ஸ் போத் இண்டக்டிவ் அண்ட் டிடக்டிவ் மெத்தட்ஸ். ஸோ ரீசர்ச்சிங் ப்ராசஸ். ஸோ சம் ஒன் தே ஹவ் ஆல்ரெடி இன்வென்டட் சம்திங், ஸோ ஆர் இன்ட்ரடியூஸ்ட் சம்திங் நியூ டெக்னாலஜி ஆர் algorithms. We are going to analyze on that research the findings. Then we have also introduced some kind of new methodologies. That is a research. Then the inductive research methods are used to analyze the observed events. So deductive methods are used to verify the observed events. So inductive approaches are associated with the qualitative approach research work, and deductive approach are mainly focused with the associated with the quantitative research work. So we should know about what is the quantitative and qualitative measures. So in terms of numbers, in terms of count, we can easily measure, or in terms of volume of contents, we can easily measure. So here, by overall, the research is the researching process. So we have to find out our area and do some analysis of our existing work and introduce some kind of new novelty of a research work. So that is a research. So now let us discuss about what is meant by which are all the major parts of a research work. That's the introduction, literature review, methods, results, then discussions. So these are all the common different kinds of steps have to be followed while we are starting our research work, and these are all the some kind of steps to be followed during our research. So fix some research domains. So there are so many number of research domains are there in the engineering discipline. So it may be a networking domain, or it may be a data analytics, or some people they are focusing on the machine learning approaches. Some people they are focusing on video analytics, or computer vision, or robotics. So like this, the different domains are available in engineering field, or it may be any kind of computer science oriented fields. So initially we have to choose in which area we are very much interested to proceed further and continue our research work. Then study some basic important terms in the research domain, because um, before we go for reading some kind of literature papers, or it may be research papers, we have to know about what will be the important terms are available, what is the meaning of each and every terms, or otherwise it is very difficult to understand while we are reading that papers. Then let us have a research white papers, survey papers, and other web resources. We can utilize it. We can download it from some kind of useful resources. It may be from IEEE Explorer or Science Direct, or it may be a ACM transaction. We can download it, and we can take a printout and keep it in a as a spiral binding format. So whenever we have a free time, then we can use it. We can mark it the important points in our papers. So it will be very helpful while we go for preparing some kind of project reports at the end of your work. Then clear understanding of existing algorithms in the domain area. then collect the research articles from the reputed journals, finalize the base papers. So it should be a recent paper. For the last 3 to 4 years papers, if you have selected, then it will be good because the people they can understand there are how much level of importance of that particular technology, or otherwise how much level of growth on that technology for the last 2 to 3 years. You can easily find out. There is some kind of applications in that particular technology may be very necessary to implement. So in such a cases, we can easily understand by reading that research papers. Then understand the techniques proposed in the papers and introduce some novelty in your domain. Then, then the next one is implement the idea using the software tools. So we have to choose which tool is appropriate for implementation because there are different based on the different kinds of domains, the different softwares may be available. So we have to, while we go for studying the research papers, survey papers, side by side we have to learn some the particular tool what we are going to implement in our project work. So then only after doing all the analysis or the requirement gathering process, designing process, we can start our implementations immediately. Or otherwise, we have to spend some additional time for learning that particular tool or technology. Then make some experimental analysis. So based on the experimental analysis only, we can easily get to know that how much level of the research problem we can easily identify, then how much level of improvement in the experimental analysis by compared to existing approaches. So these are all some kind of important points. And at the end of process, at the end of this all those things, we have to convert our research findings into the respective paper publication format. So it may be in a well-reputed institutional presentation as a IEEE conference, or it may be a paper publications in a reputed journal. So these are all some kind of the important steps have to be followed from the beginning to end of your research. So by overall, the different types of research topics are there. Research, not a research topic, is a different types of research is there. So we cannot say that engineering field is there will be a research. There are number of research field is everywhere in all the disciplines. It may be in agriculture field, or it may be fisheries department, or it may be forest department, or it may be chemical oriented, or it may be biotechnology or robotics. Whatever the field is there will be a research. There will be the different kinds of application based research is there. So the applied research, basic research, correlational research, that's a make some correlation, make some relationship between the research findings of more than one research areas. Because while we go for finding the problem statements, we are not only focusing on the single research domain. We have to consider about the other disciplines also, and then only we can understand that the some kind of and the some kind of techniques or approaches we may have introduced in some other area, but in your area it may be lacking. So if you have introduced that particular technique in your area, the your research findings may give a good result. Okay, so that is a correlational kind of research process is there. Then descriptive type of research, ethnographic research, experimental research, exploratory research, and grounded theory. So, finding some theory, do some literature. Well, theory-based research is also a good research because we cannot say that implementing all the fields, the survey papers, introduce some kind of survey papers is also a toughest job because we may think that finding some existing algorithm, introduce some novelty on your algorithm, implement it, that is a research. But actually doing some kind of survey is also the the good research because it is necessary to know about what is the actual operative principle of existing algorithms. So that is a thing. And this is the other different types of researches: applied research, action research, casual research, classification, comparative, cross-sectional research, deductive research. And this is the how to do the good research. There will be some of the important points: choosing the interesting area, identifying an interesting research topic, improvement of state of art, that is doing some kind of good literature survey, apply it in some kind of examples, prove some properties in your research, do some simulation activities. It may be real-time softwares we may have implemented, or it may be in a simulated environment we may have a chance to implement, and use software tools, systematic comparison with the other approaches, write up your results in some kind of papers. So how to started your reading the literature review. So before we go for reading the papers, we must know about read and understand the important terms, index terms, read the abstract thoroughly at least more than one times, go through the existing algorithms and study and understand the proposed algorithms or methods, analyze the experimental results, read the conclusions and future enhancements. So some kind of papers they may have introduced the future enhancements. If it is available, we have to use it. Collect all the observed points in a separate notebook. It will be helpful while we are preparing the papers. So in the next one more discussions, we may have discussed about along with one downloaded paper, how to read the paper and how to fix the base papers. Thank you.